Will is not only all of the things you mentioned, he's like the kindest person you can find. This man is not only a genius, but is the kindest man I know.
I think we'll be better humans to humans. We're not going to need some like artificial thing telling us how to be human. We're going to come to that conclusion in reality ourselves.
Intellectuals philosophize, fantasize technology and what it is going to do to us.
Mm-hmm.
But the common man somehow is like not so conversant with it. So through the show, we are trying to bring literacy into the world.
Like when we made stuff, we still had to control that stuff. We still had to operate that stuff. But I mean, 2029, that no one's remote controlling that.
And our special guest is going to share some of his incredible energy and advice with my dear friend Shekhar, who's going to interview him from the Tomorrow Today podcast. And it's an honor to have you, Shekhar, with us. And thank you for all your support for Abraham House. So this is a very special moment for us. For many years, I've wanted to have him on this stage, and this is going to happen today. So can we have a big scream as loud as you can to welcome the wonderful Will.i.am?
Hey, everybody. Hey, guys.
Well, I think one of the things that Daniel did not mention is that Will is not only all of the things you mentioned, he's like the kindest person you can find. So I actually had my team after the CES go visit the project he lived and talk to a lot of people in the neighborhood.
You went to my neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, dude.
So I think actually Sally can show you the video. So we actually shot where he lived and where he played and all of the stuff that he did. And people talk like really highly of this guy. So this man is not only a genius, but is the kindest man I know.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm a product of my neighborhood, so the people in my neighborhood are special to me, but they're really nice. I grew up in an all Mexican neighborhood, and it's a village. It still is a village. I go there every Sunday when I'm in town, and it's like, ay Willy, mijo, ven aquí, dame un beso, ay Willy. Like my neighborhood is so, I love it. I'll start crying just thinking about like the people that I grew up with that are still there. For example, as a kid from TikTok, I don't really check my DMs, but I was sleepless in bed and I was scrolling. Let me read it to you. Hector Jr. Hey, Will, I'm Hector from Hollenbach Middle School, and my grandfather named Leo, he would tell us he would call you Hollywood. And I'm reaching out to you because I knew you went to Hollenbach Middle School and you love music and you like helping your community. I'm hearing that my teacher at Hollenbach might lose his job from minimum funds, and I feel sad. Today they had a meeting council at the library, and they were talking about budgets, and I'm reaching out to you to see if you could help my school in any way. And so I replied to Junior, I love to help. You know, your grandfather helped my family out a lot when we were really poor. Leo would give us free ham when we didn't have money. I loved your grandfather. He was always nice to me and showed me so much love when I lived in the projects. He took care of us with his kind heart, with his big ranchero smile, and he would say, hey, Hollywood. Hey, Hollywood, where you going? And I would say, I'm going to Hollywood and make my dreams come true. Your grandfather encouraged me with my dream, and he would see me practicing in front of my house, and he would call me Hollywood. He would also see me come home from the studios late coming from Hollywood. Your grandfather was an angel to me and my family, and I would love to help you solve your Hollenbach budget situation. Anyways, I love my community. Like, I love it, love it, love it.
They love you too.
Yeah.
They love you too. So we actually, like, this is my second episode with Will. The first one we shot was in CES, and that's going to get aired in Arizona State University, the master's program you're going to be teaching. Sally already has that, so we have shots of where you lived, like, you know, all of that stuff. And let's get into the show a bit, Will. So the way we've organized the show is, you know, this is rated number 3 podcast on iTunes and basically also Spotify. We have 3 segments that we have in the show. The first is really like an imaginary world in the future, right? And it's like a shock and awe, Black Mirror type video that we play. The second part of the show is basically deep diving into the thing that we are talking about, like, what we showed just now. What is the implication of the technology, and how does the society get changed or morphed, or what needs to happen to make it come to life. And the third is to actually go to the street and talk to the common man, because we as, like, intellectuals philosophize, fantasize technology and what it is going to do to us. But the common man somehow is, like, not so conversant with it. So through the show, we are trying to bring literacy into the world as well.
It's amazing.
It's very much similar to what you do. So this video, and I'll just play a few clips. I know that, like, you don't like videos and then, like, talk about the topic because you're
No, we could do that.
You
Yeah.
do that? Okay, great. Like,
Yeah.
well, that was a great setup. So let's play the video. This is actually in 2470, in an imaginary world where AI has taken over the world. So, Will,
Yeah.
what do you think about the movie? Your initial reactions.
What year was that?
2470. 300 years, 350 years from now.
First thing was the material of the orb would not be that. Yeah.
Good one, yes.
The clothes of the kid won't be that. Then the AI is like the human overlord, like police system deciding like what's best for us. I don't like that. Then we've been reduced to like that's not humanity. Humanity is like I think something else happens.
Tell me.
I think we'll be better humans to humans. We're not gonna need some like artificial thing telling us how to be human. We're gonna come to that conclusion in reality ourselves. Because humans are awesome. Like, we've tamed the wildest beast. We've domesticated powerful animals. We've understood the weather. We're freaking great. And I don't think it's gonna get to a point where it's like that's the new God. No, that's not. That ain't it. I don't think that's it. I think we're gonna arrive at a heightened, elevated spiritual self. But it's gonna take that to wake us up. Yeah.
So you think that will be the instigator for us to wake up?
Think about everything that we saw. Like, there was something that created. Like, we were inspired. We are inspired by the world. Right? Mother Nature was creating, and still is creating, and it forced us to figure it out to the point where when we see dragonflies, we make helicopters, and then we do idiotic things and hurt each other with the things that we make. We see eagles soaring and we make airplanes, but then we do stupid things to one another with the things that we make. Like we look up to the sky in a lightning storm, and we like, wow, ponder like, what is that? That's plasma, and then we figure out how to harness that stuff, and then we do stupid stuff with the stuff that we figured out, and we've defy gravity, and then we do stupid stuff with the stuff we figured out.
So what makes you think that we're not going to do the stupid thing again in 2470? To give up the power to AI?
Because all the things up to this point, electricity is not reasoning. That's the difference between where we are now and where we were then. Like when we made stuff, we still had to control that stuff. We still had to operate that stuff.
We had the agency.
Now these things, like 2026, that thing's just somebody's remote controlling it somewhere. But by 2029, that no one's remote controlling that. I saw somebody like walking behind it, and it was like, but eventually that thing's gonna be walking around. Eventually, one of those guys is gonna be sitting here. That tripod holding the camera is not gonna be there. They're gonna be position bots that have cameras broadcasting, sitting amongst us. And then we're not gonna like that. We're gonna be like, hey, the French are gonna do the French thing. Thank God for the French. They're gonna protest, and then they're gonna freaking like, nah. Come on, you know that's what's gonna happen.
Yes.
The French are gonna be like, nah, no. And then a new liberty will come, and a new like enlightenment of human. We're gonna elevate. At least that's what I hope, because it doesn't end well like.
With the way that is going.
Because for that to have happened, there was some crazy war that happened.
Is it not already happening?
No, bro,
No,
that hasn't
not
happened yet.
Why are we fighting about like land, countries, identity, like who we are, all that stuff? Why is that happening? Why is that crazy shit happening right now?
Why it happened in the past? Just greed, inhumane, like hate for differences. But it wasn't. Was it the indigenous people? What turns out it wasn't those cats. They were the ones that just got like, they got handled. Or wasn't it indigenous people didn't do that? AI didn't do that. That was just like human, like something dark. And yeah, so, and that, we can't let that happen. We can't let like, that can't be the new like conquistador.
Well, I hope.
That can't be the next like colonizer.
Well, like a lot of people are actually talking about the colonization of algorithms in the future. In the sense is that like, we were fighting for land, we were fighting for resources, we were fighting for like all kinds of crazy shit, right? Like, I want to have a bigger empire, whatever it is. And people have come and gone. But I think what is the persistent theme in the future with the algorithms and AI and the intelligence layer that is getting created, it is going to remain, and it's going to remain invisible amongst us. I'll give you an example, okay? Let's walk back in my example. Subconsciously, we do a lot of that we don't know what we are doing, right? So I very much grew up in slums, like you, Project, right? Like, I grew up in slums. Till age, like, so I used to walk. My brother and I used to hold hand. And education was like a temple for us. We used to go, like, it's like going to a temple every day, because my mom fought for 365 days to get me into the school. She stood in front of the headmaster's office. And so we used to walk 45 minutes every one way, and then come back 45 minutes. Okay? And then people thought, these kids like out of slums, they're working hard. Someone like, like the guy who talked about, took pity on us and said like, we'll buy this guy like a bicycle. And so I said, okay, like great, more efficient for me, not 45 minutes, 15 minutes. I'll bike, go, come back. So the same point A to point B is now 15 minutes versus 45 minutes. Made me a little efficient. Okay. Then came the world of ride sharing before technology, which is an auto rickshaw in India. You just wave your freaking hand and then you get into an auto rickshaw with like 10 other unknown people. Every day it's different. And then you go from point A to point B. And you're making choices then. That's your mind, freaking mind telling recommendation. I'm lazy today. Let me not like take the bike. Let me like give 5 rupees and hop on and go. Then I came to United States. I have to just hold my steering wheel, sometimes brake, and sometimes accelerate. More efficient. And then I get into a Tesla. I don't have to use my freaking brain. It's controlling me. So gradually we've been giving up the agency of our mind to algorithms. What makes you think that's not going to happen across everything? Because it's happening, by the way. Like, you have a manager who probably is coming and telling you what you need to do.
No, I don't.
You don't do that.
I manage myself.
Okay, great. Okay. But, so.
But that's been since my career.
Yeah.
I've co-managed the P's. I'm a control freak. but it's a way to make sure you get to your destination, your destiny, without compromising the dream.
But like, you see this everywhere. Netflix, that keeps giving you movies. Like you go to an ad, it keeps telling you the ads that you want to see and more of that. So subconsciously we are like leaving our brains to the side and we are believing that the algorithms somehow know us better than we do ourselves. How do we rectify that world? Am I making sense to you?
Yeah, I don't think it's like you fast forwarded through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't.
42 years.
Now you're gonna see accelerated brain rot. Now there's accelerated brain rot that's popping off. There's gonna be like psychological conversational dysmorphia because people are gonna be introverts because they can't perform at the speed at which they've been communicating with some agent, some village bot. People are right now sharing the same. We're sharing the communal AI and giving yourself to a company's system all the while. And then you're going to go and communicate with humans and you're going to get impatient because a human's like, wait, and you're like, hurry up, give me the goddamn answer. Because you're so used to talking to like it's rapid, non-human entity that's spitting out things fast. And humans don't communicate that way. So people are going to get impatient with humans. And because that same impatience they have with human responses, they're going to feel like inadequate and have psychological conversational dysmorphia because they too can't respond as fast as the agent they've been talking to or AI they've been talking to all the while to solve their, anguish, their depression, their company, banter at work that's making them feel a certain way. We haven't yet grappled with the problems that we're going to have in the next 2 or 3 years that are taking shape now. And then in walks the robot. Those ones are cool. They're metallic. Eventually they're going to be silicone. And then the moment they're silicone, that's going to mess up relationships. And it's going to make you feel like a king or a queen. And we have to grapple with that in 2029. And there's going to be people that are like, we getting married. And then parents like, what are you talking about? It knows me more than you know me. It knows me better than you do. And then but how do we question that?
Absolutely.
Because we can't even question like the human thing. We're too politically like configured that We can't even have who who makes babies. That's a politically touchy conversation in some countries. Like, what's a woman? That's a political like. Wait, what? How did that happen? And the next thing you know, them shits is gonna be having babies with the artificial womb. You mean all in the next like 20 years? Before I am 70 years old, that will be the reality. There's gonna be some silicone thing that knows everything about everything that has an artificial womb that's married
To someone.
to someone.
Wow.
And like, wait, what? And then some company is going to lobby to make sure that that has the same rights as us. And then it's going to walk by some homeless human. And then we're going to be like, what? How the hell we get here? And is that the world you want? Because when I saw that video, I'm like, oh, all that had to have happened.
Yeah.
For seeing the little kid with the little orb walking into a freaking like limestone cave. It was like, somebody put that flag here. That motherfucker wasn't worried about no fucking flag if that was reality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. It gets weird real fast.
So do you think we need nations in the first place?
Say again?
Do we need a nation in the first place? Our identity is a nation or a house or a tribe or a community or whatever it is. Do we need nations? Or are we better off without it?
Okay. This question sounds like a deep one now. Like, yo, that's the right thing to say. Hell yeah, we need nations.
Why do you need that?
Because you don't want them to make the nations for us. We need nations. We got here because of nations. We are here at Davos 2026 in Switzerland, by the way, which is a beautiful nation. And I love Brazil. That's a beautiful culture too. And with all the trials and tribulations that Brazil had to go through to become Brazil, unfortunately, they went through some pain. And now Brazil is a joyful place. And it's going to get through their problems too. Ask that question, do we need seasons? Humans are complex that way, just like nature's complex. And certain countries have 4 seasons, some have 2, some have 1. And yeah, you need nations. You need tribes. The question you want to ask is, do we need to be more empathetic? Do we need to be more collaborative? Do we need to appreciate more? That, yes. While we have rich freaking cultures. Because the concept of nations have changed, because now when I go to I remember going to Amsterdam, their money used to look all nice. It still does. But I remember going to Europe and every single country had different currency. That was like, wow, these Deutsche francs, these French francs. And then the euro's nice, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. But when that happened, now everything's Starbucks. And I like Starbucks, but I used to like the local coffee. I liked that local restaurant. That's what makes traveling awesome. So yeah, you need that differentiation. Just like when you go to Philippines, there's certain fruit that's there that isn't over there. The moment you get rid of identity and you go to this place to get that, then you're going to expect the same from nature. And nature's diverse. And so is humanity. And all the things that make us tick and how we click and how we stick together. And it's a beautiful thing. But we got to appreciate it the same way we appreciate going to the desert for vacation. People went to the desert for vacation, and now that's a freaking one of the best spots to go to. Dubai, the UAE, that's a beautiful place. 40 years old. That's younger than my mom. That thing erecting up to be what it is now, that's inspirational. that's inspirational for Nigeria to learn from Kenya to learn from Ghana to learn from. How did they do that? They benefited from the resources on their planet, in their country. Well, the Congo should be able to do that too, because shit in here came from there.
Yeah.
How come they can't be as, you know, vibrant as the UAE from their resources? So yeah, nations are great, and nations benefiting from their rare minerals and resources is even greater.
So, which is better? The world is a nation or nations themselves?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You said the world as a nation.
Yeah,
means,
like, let's assume that
That
there's
you
no
mean there's
nation,
a-
there's no boundaries.
there's a song. It's like one nation under a groove. That was Parliament Funkadelic. George Clinton, not Bill Clinton, not Parliament from the UK. The funkiest funkster of them all. One nation under a groove. So what was your question again?
So, is one nation good for the world, or like multiple nations, 195 of those? Because we're fighting for those these days.
We don't have to fight.
Like that's the right answer, but like somehow like the human rationale says we got to fight for it.
Okay, so you think by having one nation automatically, magically, ain't gonna be no fighting?
I don't know. I'm just asking you.
I know.
Like, you're the futurist. I'm not the futurist.
I think. Have you seen a beautiful orchestra in action?
Mhm.
There's a lot of instruments there. You have the conductor. So in your case, there's one conductor. Is that your vision of like one
There's
nation?
one orchestra. The one guy, and then everyone is playing the music around it. That's the video. The AI saying what to do.
No,
You don't like that.
no. As much as I love AI, that's not the way. That's not the AI I like.
Yeah.
I like the AI in Star Wars. And
How does it feel?
there's Jedi's, bro.
Mm.
The Jedi's didn't give a fuck about R2D2 and fucking 3CPO. What you're telling me in your movie that R2D2 is the fucking god, that. No, Jedi's, bro. Like super heightened spiritual human beings at its highest frequency.
Yeah.
Like, do not, as much as we are technocrats, do not surrender your neural network and how awesome the human being is as far as power efficiency. That motherfucker needs a nuclear plant to power its brain. 12 watts, bro. We,
Absolutely.
you feel me? Come on, man. You can't have that one. Why? We going to give up now? We ain't even started yet. No, bro. I hope that ain't the one you trying to do. That ain't the one. And I love tech, but I love humans more.
So how do you build compassion and empathy and everything that makes a human a human? Like, because that's what makes an extraordinary human. Because we're not capturing that. Like, the world is like filled with a lot of garbage data, rant of like Reddit and like, you know, like what happens in like there was like someone wrote something on Reddit like 12 years ago. Like, if the cheese is falling off, then put some glue on it. And everyone thought that that is actually the answer, and Google started recommending to everyone that you should put glue so that the cheese doesn't fall off the pizza.
Oh, that works when you're taking photos of cheese to put on the internet.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work if you're eating pizza.
True. But we assume that is intelligence these days because that's what like AI is telling you.
Well, so say that again.
So the world's wisdom is the garbage land out there, the data which is sitting out there. And we are assuming that is the human identity.
No, that's a corporate marketing campaign for you to think that that is the most intelligent thing in the world. That is the most like awesome calculator in the world, pattern matcher in the world. Intelligence is imagination. Einstein was the person who told you what the highest level of intelligence is the imagination. Them shits ain't imagining.
Mm.
They're great pattern matchers.
You think that can imagine one day? That you can teach imagination to it one day?
We're imagining all days. If they get to that, I what will we not give to the machine?
That's a better question. Yes, you tell me. What are the things that you would not want to optimize?
There should be some things that are sacred to us,
Like what?
like the imagination.
And what about your heart?
Love,
Mm.
it will never love.
Mm.
And it can argue back to us, you have never loved. And then we will say, and let me show you. And then that's when we are going to activate that power. Bringing that song. When I said that power out, for some reason, give me the power of love, went in my mind real fast. But yeah, it's getting goofy right now on what's happening in the world, in society. What we tolerate, how we've been desensitized, things that we do to one another. You know, it's going to learn from everything we've done, and are we going to tolerate it repeating the same things we do to one another? And in the name of, like, gain and like profit, are we going to be like, but it's a quadrillion-dollar company. It's a quadrillion dollar, a whole lot of money company. And are we going to be okay with that if it repeats the same thing we do to each other?
Mm.
I hope that isn't the case,
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
But at the rate that it's going,
it could be one.
we would be like, yeah, I got shares in that. Yeah. Because look what we do. Look what we allow us to do to one another. That shouldn't be. That shouldn't be the case. It can't be profit over people. That's the wickedest of the wicked.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let me ask you the futurist question, because you're the futurist. I've seen your songs in 2007 where you were talking about AI. Then, like, no one even was talking about like AI creating music and all that. So, so you've been always thinking 20 years ahead. What is your aspiration for technology, and where should it, like, you've mentioned a lot of these, like, now imagine a world that you can create with technology. What would that look like? What is the Will.i.am's version of it?
Um, there's a lot of problems that are not solved, and the problems that are not solved are in cities where, you know, underdeveloped communities, and that is in the global south. And and folks that live in the global south seem to have all the resources, but then riddled with a whole lot of problems where they can't benefit from the resources. And now technology could help them solve those problems once and for all. So that's using technology to solve problems. Right now, AI to make music, as awesome as it is, there's really no problem in music for that to be the use for, like, AI in music. And I like it. I think it's dope. Wait, what? It's cool. It's cool. Hey, see? You don't even know it's there. So
This is 2029.
so we could be using all that processing power, all that energy, all that water, all that power to be solving some real problems. Do you every time, like, there's millions of people, like, prompting to make music, and as awesome as it is, there was nothing wrong with humans making music. It wasn't like, man, this DSP, man, that's a problem, man. Ain't no more new music, man. If only there was some AI to make me some music right now. That wasn't the in case. So why is all that power, all that water being utilized before you could use it to solve real problems? It's compute. Compute is compute. You could use that compute to solve some real problems. So we're not even using our power correctly. We're prioritizing compute, and it's a lot of compute to use that stuff to make. And images are awesome. I like it. It saved me a lot of time. But then there's still a lot of people that could utilize not only that electricity, but that water, and use that compute to solve problems. So we're not even acknowledging the problems that you could solve that are going to create new industries. Because every time you solve a problem, a new industry sprout, new jobs are created. And as a matter of fact, while we're creating this new technology for problems that were not even problems, folks that were living pretty awesome lives are losing jobs. So you have this mass joblessness where people were making a living that went to school for it, for crying out loud, marketers, designers, illustrators, when there was really no problem for AI to come and take fucking jobs. Meanwhile, water and power is not even being used for the compute to solve real problems. So now you got problems on top of problems, and it's only 2026 January.
Yeah.
Whole lot of jobs got obliterated in 2025.
Yes, absolutely.
Pretty skilled people. The world was pretty cool in 2018. Remember that shit before COVID? Shit seemed pretty fresh. Apple was like the king of the freaking mountain. Google was still fucking Google. Porsche was Porsche. No one saw Xiaomi. How did these motherfuckers outdo fucking Samsung and Porsche during COVID? Fucking amazing, bro. What's happening in China? Wowzers. Now, how could the whole world learn and be inspired by how China's rocking? Just take some pieces, the good pieces, and apply that to Congo, apply that to freaking Rwanda, apply that to Nigeria, apply that to Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, Nicaragua, you name it. Apply the best pieces that are coming from China to areas to where you're creating dignity, awesome factories that are building regardless of the maybe those factories have some employees, but why can't those autonomous factories that are making awesome things that people want be done in Chile or Brooklyn, Bronx, you know, Chennai, Bangalore. You know, China's doing some pretty awesome things. And the robots aren't. Those robots is flipping, bro. They got flipping ass robots. Damn. Yo. Their robots flip. Ninja poses. All types of dope ass amazingness. I want that to come from my neighborhood. You know? But then at the same time, we can't lose our humanity. Because I know humans that flip too, bro. You can't just be like, oh, robots flipping. I know you can flip. Sit there, Bobby. Look at the robot flip. Mom, I can flip too. Yeah. I'm going to spend $20,000 on a flipping ass robot. Meanwhile, Bobby can't even get a job. Flipping.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sad.
So it was a truly inspiring conversation because I started off as obsolescence of nations using technology. And what basically came out of this is augmentation of nations using technology. Is that a good summarization? Because you're talking about like lifting up economies and countries that could actually benefit from technology.
Yes. You want to supercharge individuals and their communities and their nations, but still starting with the person. You got to, because the company is going to just, data scrape them anyhow. And then next thing you know, there's some version of you in their like configuration because you had access to some free app, and then there's like some bodified version of you, and it sells the way you sell. You know, you worked at Nordstrom's for 15 years, and you hit your quotas, and to save costs because all C-level, employees bottom line is equal. So the CSO's bottom line is equal to the CFO, and the CFO's bottom line is equal to the CTO, and the chief of staff's like, you know what? I'm gonna reduce the staff, and the CTO is like, yeah, I'm gonna reduce the staff too. And now, when everyone's bottom line is equal to save costs, people's jobs are lost, and replaced with efficiency. we're and this is just the beginning. It's gonna get like turbulent by 2030. We're gonna be like scratching our head. We should have been talking about it since 2018. We should have kept the conversation going in 2017 here at WEF when we had the AI Council. So in 2016, 17, 18, I sat on the AI Council here at WEF. We had these same conversations then. And here we are.
Yeah, again, we're talking about the same thing.
Talking about the same thing, but not in like granular detail. So yeah, the individual needs to own their data. Up to this point, my data in this phone, like how do I actually actualize it? This phone was made for me to swipe and tap, and the camera. And now companies have access to my camera, my mic, and my GPS location without me even knowing. I can't even say, hey Siri, who got access to my mic and my camera and my location right now? Siri don't know. And if Siri was to tell me, I couldn't say like, okay, disconnect them, because it's not configured that way. Because it's a layer on an OS, and so I don't even know how to. We haven't even been given a product to leverage our data for us. And so in this world that you're talking about there, that kid's data is in that machine. That kid does not have, or is that kid's machine? In this story that you showed,
it's the replica of the guy, of the kid. The data exists in the bot.
But who owns that?
The world owns it.
Oh, okay. Let's
The
break that up.
algorithm, yes.
Oh man, I'm lactose intolerant and I'm vegan. My stomach hurts. I need you to do me a favor.
Yes.
Can you go take it for me? You can't. You can't. Why? Because my digestive system is mine. Yours is yours. My immune system is mine. Yours is yours. No matter how much you care about me, you couldn't loan me your immune system. So in this world, my AI system should be mine, not the countries. My country, I love America, but it doesn't own my digestive system. The only system that a country tries to own is a woman's reproductive system. And that shouldn't be this. They should own that too.
Absolutely.
Like, so from that perspective, your AI system, your data should be yours. It's a human right, like all your other systems. Just no one ever told us that we were going to have this other system that you receive when you enter the society. You know? It's math. And the math that I make and configure as I'm living in life should be obtained to me, just like my my particles. I don't own them, but they make up my physicality. My particles create my atoms, and my atoms create my cells, and it's tied to my DNA, my fingerprint here. I'm accountable for my actions, and you could trace it back to my fingerprint. It's still me. And my digital fingerprint is still here in this digiverse that we're in. And if that's the case, why can't I own it? Why is it to some companies? And why is it going to go to these motherfuckers? That ain't the world you want.
I know. Hopefully not. So you guys have seen the real Will. He's like, this guy is not just a great artist, but he's intellectually at a different plane.
No,
You are, and
I'm just curious, and and creative, and use my imagination, but to spell it that way, nah. Like,
well, the audience also feels that way. Don't you guys think so?
thank you.
They do. I'm not making it up.
No, because if there's when people say like genius and things like that, I know some real geniuses that are like Dimas is that guy's nice. I sat there watching him today. I'm like, wow, that dude's amazing. Dimas is a nice guy. Right? And that's the genius. And humble and has good intentions. And yeah. Use that we gotta use that word like correctly. Clever, I'm clever. And creative, I would take that one. But genius, Dimas is a genius.
Yes. So I'm getting like the call from your team saying that you got to run for your next appointment. So we loved the conversation, and it's going to air very soon.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
it's gonna go on the internet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you so much, Will.
Wait, what company is this? Those are pretty dope. Yeah, that's dope. Do they flip? Yeah, those are those are dope. Those are
And this is real dog. This is not like a robotic dog.
that's that's cute. So those things, that's a cute dog.
Yes.
But thank you guys so much for listening to our convo. Thank you, bro.
Oh, Will.i.am, my cousin, we're really close friends, honestly. My cousin used to be the mail carrier over here at the Estrada Courts projects. Well, this is how they call them here, projects. And for what I know, he had actually sent taco trucks. He has sent, ice cream trucks, presents, to little kids, to the Boys and Girls Clubs. He has contributed a lot to the Boys and Girls Club.
So he has done a lot, like especially education-wise. A lot of people don't really see it because he don't like to show it out there. He does it more like on his own way.
Then I've been a part of College Strike for the past 4 years, one of his programs. And I think the biggest thing is how easy it has made like my process of applying to college. Since most of the programs didn't like being ready for college and like exposure to different programs that we don't normally get if we don't really know about it. It's like greater exposure to different things. One of the biggest things they did was my sophomore year. They took us to North Arizona University, where we dormed there for about 3-4 days.
I know his interactions with the community due to the facts that I coached at Roosevelt High School for a year, about 3 years ago. So his college track program, I saw the way it inspired some girls, how they made sure they had to get to the program, and how the program was an enrichment in their life for their college career, and also what it offers after. I mean, tutoring, obviously the financials, but they made sure they had to go to it all the time. I had to accommodate it in my schedule.
The full name would be I Am College Track. and I think I didn't know he actually ran it until one day I saw him there. But I think it's a amazing program. Probably there's about, I'd say, give or take 100, 200 kids that go continuously from freshmen up to seniors.
And I think kids, they don't have clothing, like they have sponsors from like the prom and all that stuff. And then from what I heard, I haven't been in that program, but like the program that he put out there has a lot of fit for kids that can't really afford it. And you know, here nowadays, especially now, it's hard to pay through college. And you know, he has his program from what I heard, and it has worked for a lot of kids.
So not only do they help with college, that's like they ensure that there's experiences of like making sure that the kids aren't not only going in one path, but they're branching out to whatever they want to go and like achieve.
And he's done a lot of great things. Just like his uncle's a great person. He comes like from a great family.
To give him the props, honestly, he deserves it. Honestly, this guy, has made East LA, big and put us out there, especially, where he came from. A lot of people, I mean, for what I know, a lot of people don't even know that he grew up in this area of the projects. And just to know, he made it big, that really made us happy.
So he didn't just leave the community. He's still within the community, and he's helping out all the kids within the community. And I believe he has a robotics program too, right here in Estrada Courts.
Major, I want to go into double major in finance and accounting so I can go into investment banking.
And every time he comes by, he passes by. I mean, obviously he doesn't tell anybody that he's gonna pass by, but when he passes by, you can straight out tell that it's him, because it's the car that he drives. And I don't want to say paparazzi, but sometimes he does pass by with other cars. He passes by, talks to everybody just like a normal person. And half an hour later, you see a food truck parked right here, like, free tacos for everybody. Oh, next thing you know, he sends a pupusa lady on the other side of the project in the corner, like, oh, pupusas for everybody. And everybody's making line. They're like, oh, who sponsored this? Or who's anonymous? But we already know it's him.
I think God created the most perfect machine is us. But we chose, excuse my language, we chose to fuck it up into certain things. And that AI part, I can't rely on a machine. Personally, I think AI is great, but my point is, like everything, electronics and AI is going to be our downfall someday. It's great. Everybody's just getting lazier and lazier because I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, and I see the way we rely on it. We rely on it too much. And I can see the generations that I coach now, they're totally different than before because they want everything right in their hand.
Yeah, but AI took over a lot. It doesn't, it's helpful, but at the same time, I believe that is making people lazy to do certain things.
I think there is a place for AI in our society, but it needs balance. It cannot take over society, or else people won't have jobs. We won't have work for anybody, and people will go hungry, and that's a big problem for our society that we are not ready for.
It's what everyone's scared about right now, right? Like job security with AI, right? Like, how do I live, right? If you went to school your whole life and you have a job now, and like that job's not something that cannot last, or like even our parents are immigrants, right? They came here becoming nurses, and even that is not a stable job anymore.
I don't think AI should replace us to govern ourselves in a jurisdictional form. I think it would remove the humanity we have and the freedom and responsibility we have to dictate and govern ourselves.
The way AI works, it just feeds from everything that, people have created. I don't know what the margin of error could look like on something that delivers justice like that. There's a lot of factors that go in, even mercy too, which I feel like an AI wouldn't even be able to comprehend, like showing mercy on anybody. No, like
Crimes and stuff like that, something like that. That's what I feel. If AI could do that to make justice for people that deserve freedom.
A machine would be very factual, but I don't know where sometimes instincts, humanity comes involved in making decisions, and I can't see where a machine would be able to do that effectively. So I don't know. I don't see where an AI-controlled government would necessarily be what I'd be interested in.
So if would I pledge a nation to a machine, like a country that was run by a machine? I would not.
if AI was in control of that, I think you still have the idea of having like a nation as like your personality or your culture.
I use AI. I definitely I use it for like all of my school stuff. Like I trust it. I don't know in like that type of way if I would trust it.
I think the problem with trusting AI is trusting who's controlling it.
Yeah, who's controlling it.
And I think it's one of the biggest things. I think just psychologically, any human being who has a lot of power ends up being corrupt, and for their own reasons. And I think that's the tough part. And I think people are trying to put AI in charge of that so that we don't have that corruption. But then it's like, do we trust this AI that's there?
Obviously, there's just like a lot of complications that comes with it. So I don't know if you could put everything into that at the same time, because it's still new. It's still something that's developing. And at like any moment, like something can go wrong and then boom, it's over.
Yeah, that's the thing with like trusting it, because you don't know what's behind it, you know?
If something that's not human can solve humanity's problems, I'd be down for it. But I don't think that I don't think I'm in that place where I would trust that.
You know, I think there's a lot of, I do think there's like benefits of AI, but I do think there's like a lot of still issues with it. And I still think there's, a lot of the problems with AI is like the black box concept that you aren't fully sure on how it's getting to certain answers and how it's getting to certain things.
I do think people put way too much weight in AI.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's not going to be able to solve world peace. It's not going to be able to like cure anything like humanity-wise.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think it has that capability at all.
I don't trust AI, bottom line.
Even though I know the AI is not working in the way that most of the people want, but for me, it's like a new humanity doing things for our world. Because I don't know, but I was reading about AI in Japan, that they have AI robots taking care of the older people, but the older people was saying that they cannot listening with feelings. Now they are making robots that they can cry with the people that they care of. So it's something, very crazy, but if they can do things that we don't want anymore in this world, it's okay. I think it's worth it.